Hey, what's going on, good people? This is Brandon, your trusted realtor. I'm here outside of a property. We are in Waldorf. We are back in the great community of Waldorf. We love this hour drive down here, don't we? And what I'll be looking at today while I'm waiting for my client to get here is that I'm going to be giving you a sense of the things that I first look at and as I walk up to a property, and the first thing I look at is the roof. Let's dive into that. So in this particular property, you will see it's a single family home. Nice brick structure all around. We're going to be sitting on just about a quarter of an acre size lot, decently recessed from the street. Two things that I'm going to tell you immediately from a landscaping standpoint is get you some seeds. As a homeowner, you are always going to need grass seeds. Grass seeds and reseeding is going to be one of the things that is going to make life that much easier. Do you see the difference in aesthetic and color here? It's all about the routine maintenance of your property. Routine maintenance is one of those things that includes reseeding. I can't tell you how important that is, especially when you make that impromptu decision to sell that home. You want to make sure that you're attracting people and you're getting the highest and best value. Back to this. Now we're going to be looking at this property, and the first thing I look at is the roof. And when I scan the roof line, I'm looking for wear and tear. I'm looking for flashing. I'm looking for exactly what you're seeing here, shingles or roofing tile that has uplifted itself. This, in approximation, is going to give me a sense of the age of the roof and the additional repairs that's needed. You'll either have an immediate 5 to 7 years on the life of this roof, but you have some immediate work that needs to be done here. Work integrity. Also something to be mindful of as you're looking at, right? We recently had rains. Have we? Did we have rains? No, we haven't had any rains. I wish we did. But it's this type of information, insight. The chimney, have a proper cover. Always going to be good for keeping woodland creatures from coming around. Siding. We don't have any bowing, buckling. AC unit looks new. Is that a dead bird? AC, it is a dead bird. AC unit looks new within the last 5 years. Chimney. One huge point about having a chimney is that anytime you get a new home, you want to make sure that you have what I refer to as a chimneyologist come out to your property and inspect that chimney. Individuals don't realize that the kerosene from the any previous home fires or what have you builds up in that chimney. Over time, when it hasn't been used, it acts as a torch. Once it cracks, you spark a fire inside of there, and your whole house can go up like a match. So, and the field of chimneyologist is not a certified licensed field. So unlike a cosmetologist where you have to be licensed in order to do hair and nails, do chimneys, you don't necessarily have to be licensed. So there's a website that I give to all of my clients as a resource to make sure that they have their chimney inspected. Now, if you see behind me, we have skylights. Look at this. Now, the debris buildup here is also going to be a sign of the age of the roof. This back end is going to be receiving just a little bit more sunlight, it seems. It's more debris, wear and tear. A cautionary tale of concern is moisture penetration around the skylights. But that's always something to detect for. You're looking for anywhere around these wooden rafters where there's skylight, you're looking for about an 11% moisture rate when you're using a moisture meter. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap up here. A bird or fly. Wrap up here, spend a little time on the inside of the property, getting to know her a little bit better. All right, so we're here on the inside of this property, and there's a few things that I want to show you that are just, not only is it just aesthetically beautiful from the inside, good solid bones, but there's a few tips that I want to leave for you homeowners that you should take with you as you are thinking about buying a property. It's one thing to buy a property, but there's a whole nother step as it relates to home maintenance. So we'll touch on some of those as we go through here. First, We walk in, an immediate advantage or opportunity to this space is getting glass doors, allowing more light into your residence, especially, or your home, especially if you have a similar layout to this, makes the overall space appear larger. You want to remove any overhead impediments like this bump out or dome light because it creates less space between the head and the ceiling, and you want to give the impression that you have higher ceilings. So more natural light allows and will permit that flow. Now I see this more often than I care to shake than I can shake a stick at. Is when I go into a garage and the garage has not been painted. One of the disadvantages to not painting your garage is that at any point in time that there's any moisture that happens to this garage or a buildup of humidity, this is a perfect breeding ground for microbial growth, aka mold growth in your home. Microbial growth needs two things. They need the right atmospheric conditions and they need organic substance. This drywall is made 100% of organic material, like paper. And so it is the perfect breeding ground. Paint serves as an insulation and a barrier to keep you from having to deal with those types of problems. It is a very inexpensive treatment for what could be a really expensive problem. One more thing I want to mention here in this property is as you're going through your homes and you're looking at your systems, the major cost that of any homeowner is going to be the cost related to systems. When you're looking at a new house and you're looking at, for example, the hot water heater, you're looking for copper piping. This type of copper piping is going to be indicative that you're going to have proper piped, a house that is properly piped. Because this or PVC, some of the alternative, copper is always the preference. The second is that at this point in time, when it comes to the age of a system, water heaters should have an expansion tank. An expansion tank will allow the water to both the additional space that occurs with the expansion of water to be displaced there. Not a very great explanation, and I got a bit tongue-tied. Let's start over with that. An expansion tank water is the only substance that will expand when it gets hot or cold. That additional space that's needed for that expansion to occur is the reason that you have an expansion tank. That's usually about $50 to $60 to have an expansion tank put into your home, plus whatever the cost is for maintenance. Or should I say the cost for installation? Nice hardwood floors. Great access to individual dining, or should I say more formal dining with a separate egress to outside as well. And a formal living room. Really a nice space.